Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Come your life from fire, your heart, children of God, and that's you, and that's you, and that's me, and that's me. Alright, so I found the harmonica. Just need to do a little check on it, and because it's, harmonicas, it's gross when you think about it. So you want to make sure everything's good. Oop. Oh, shouldn't you have did this before we started? So we're continuing real songs. The thing is I did 2 or something. I don't know if I ended up posting them one and it just got, well, fruity. I do not. I get lucky sometimes on a harmonica, but I think I needed a different key. This is A. Or something, but okay, so it would have helped if I remembered if I posted it. You know what? I think I did. In the Pines, the Longest Train. Okay, they're saying slow waltz time. The Longest Train. In the Pines, the Longest Train. And we've been doing a rail, or singing rails. We're on page 14. This book was given to someone that's worked with John for a while. Given to John. So with other fun ones. We got, while many train songs have the driving rhythm of a locomotive, In the Pines, also known as The Longest Train, is sung in a slow waltz time. Originally sometime around the Civil War, it was first recorded by Doc Walsh from Wilkes County, North Carolina in 1926. Later versions were recorded with such titles as Black Girl, The Longest Train I Ever Saw, To the Pines, we already did this one, Where Did You Stay Last Night, Look Up, Look Down, Lonesome Road, and Don't Tell Me No Lie. In the pines, where the sun never shines, and I shivered when the cold winds blow. I don't think we did the song. We might have. Little girl, don't lie to me. Tell me where you'd stay last night. We were going to go back. We were going to be at John Henry. That's what it was. But I want to do this again, so we're here and do it in a different way. I have the harmonica. So maybe we should go back and try... No, we'll just... Now I'm jumping around. See? It's okay. See, now. We can go back and do Boogie Train another day if I find out it wasn't on the last video. Alright, a little dry here. I remember reading Elephants to the Rescue. This is escaping me. But we're going to try it in this waltz thing. Maybe not. We're going to just try whatever. And I'll try to throw this in, but... Oh, all right. In the pines, where the sun never shines, and I shivered when the cold winds blow. Little girl, don't lie to me. Tell me where you'd stayed last night. I asked my captain for the time of day. He said he throwed his watch away. I forgot about that. That's why I didn't know where it was. It was right on the shelf. I had a husky lab and she did the same thing, so I could never really practice much. She passed away. They were still here, but they might have learned from her, or it was just they just do it too. You want to hear them? They're funner than me. It's gonna get loud though. They're part of my ear problem. I can't just blame this on the Havana, but I do have Havana. I've had it a long time. Since the trailer or before. So that's over 10 plus years. Just varying degrees, but oh gosh, I don't know. It might get me upset. Now we're not even gonna finish real song. See? We're just going to move on from here. We're going to head to John Henry. Considered America's best-known ballad, John Henry is said to be based on events that took place at the Big Bend Tunnel in Summers County, West Virginia, sometime between 1870 and 72. Look, yes, there might be some problems, but it's not summer here yet. There's been a couple trickster days, but don't let it kid you. It goes down to like I don't know if we're turning into Northern California or what minus, there's still too much humidity, but I mean, the humidity is not even high today. It's a little bit, I'm dressed like this, and sitting in the sun is warming. It's like that kind of day, you know? It's like, I have shorts on, but long socks, like up almost to my knee. That's what kind of day it is. And it's happening a lot. For it to be middle of June soon, my concern is it's going to just cut off and go into swamp heat. Oh, and I hate it. And you're going to see a mood change. And I'm going to work on it with the Lord. But I tell you what, I can't stand swamp heat. I don't get along with humidity. It doesn't get along with me. We have a problem with one another, and it's always been there. If someone said, we're going to stick you in the desert, there is some water available, or they tapped long enough under the ground to get water, and like it was set up off grid, and I can maybe figure out some stuff with some plants somehow, water, recycle. I would pick a desert over a swamp land, like way down where it's like alligators, and I would choose the desert. I would choose scorpions, rattlesnakes, and all the likes over those one and the bigger snakes. But I shouldn't say things like that because the Lord's liable to stick us out in the middle of a dry desert. And now I'm scared. I said it out loud. It's like a partial. That's a partial joke, and I'm not. And it's not. I'm not being disrespectful to God. I shouldn't have said it out loud because He does have a sense of humor. When a steam drill was brought in to replace a large number of workers. Okay, we're gonna start over because this is fun. I love John Henry. Everyone should love John Henry. Who, hail John Henry. Who, hail John Henry. Not like worshiping him though. Like honoring his honor, his heroism to me in a way. Okay. Considered America's best known ballad, John Henry is said to be based on events that took place at the Big Bend Tunnel in Summers County, West Virginia, sometime between 1870 and 72. But then when I find out he may have something with the natives, let's stop there. We gotta put on the white girl for a moment and try to just hug whatever else is left there that can't get over what went on. When a steam drill was brought, 1870 to 72, when a steam drill was brought to replace a large number of workers, a contest was held. John Henry was chosen to go against the steam drill in the classic battle of man pitted against machine. In the end, John Henry drove 14 feet, while the steam drill only drove 9 feet. Though victorious, his efforts cost him his life. As the song says, he laid down his hammer and he died. I don't know, maybe this is another John Henry name myself. I'm doubting things. We're going to read onward, and if it ends up I'm confusing it with another John Henry, then no, it just got a little darker out too. So I just had to make the joke about weird weather and stuff. That's what I mean. There could be a tornado or something that whips through here in a minute. John Henry was a little bitty boy sitting on his mama's knee, picked up a hammer and a little piece of steel. Lord, hammer'll be the death of me, Lord. Lord, a hammer'll be the death of me. Oh, I slaughtered that song, oh, to be. The railroad will leave the land, a spoiled, ruined, a desert where only sable buzzards shall wing their loathsome way to feed upon the... Oh God, the railroad will leave the land, despoiled, ruined, a desert where only sable buzzards shall wing their lonesome way to feed upon the carrion accomplished by the iron monster of the locomotive engine. No, sir, let us hear no more of the railroad. Tirade against Railroad, 1847. I can't believe I said this was going to be the fun book. Just because I have liked to have taken my share of train trips. Granted, I watched the decline of the quality of the Amtrak and stuff, but we won't go off-roading there. And I remember being stuck in the railroad wars, and boy, Lord, you couldn't have been more obvious for me and my son to get off in Colorado there, reroute the ticket back up north to the Indians. Jeez. All right, so John Henry, and there's a much more of a story to that. I'm not going to get into that right now, but it would have gotten shut down up north to the Indians were already, I think, getting hammered by the federal on me, and because of the little predators stalking me constantly. And They weren't really even supposed to be calling up there, and she had kind of like tracked me down on the phone that I was still allowed to have. Then I got in trouble because it crossed over with Canada cost, but I didn't want the phone. That's all I had. I should have ditched the phone, let the shelter help me get a government phone, just so it would have been the same. Long story short is, I believe God allowed that Union War to get really held up, and that I needed to get out at the station there because there was just the one. There's only the one in Colorado, and if you don't get off there, you got between there and Utah. It's just time to get out in Colorado. If there's Union War and you knew you got to get back up north, because the farm you're going to go to in Colorado, after nearly 4 months of correspondence, started to show that they might be extra off kilter. And then you meet the banjo people from Alaska. I'm just trying to be vague here. And then they're like, whoa, we don't think, how long did you talk to this firm? I'm like, look, it seemed really solid. Like, please, let's not freak me out right now. And lo and behold, that farm went out of business like 10 years later or so. So I would have had to have. There was other glitches with the farm. It sounded like a marvelous farm. So I don't know what went wrong, but it did. I assume it was government related. I don't know, and I mean that in a mean way. What are we doing now? So I liked a good train ride, but it just really did decline. I don't really know what ended up happening with Amtrak. I was just really disappointed with the decline of it all. And the union wars were ridiculous, and it wasn't the first time I got on a train and had that go on. And it was a really bad thing because there was actually still people that would travel for business on train over plane. So we have John Henry. Oh my God, I thought it was like an hour of that. John Henry went upon the mountain, come down on the... John Henry went upon the mountain, come down on the other side. The mountain was so tall, John Henry was so small. He laid down his hammer and he cried. Oh Lord, he laid down his hammer and he cried. Is that why he got wiped out like that? Oh no, this can take me on other journeys with stuff. I have this theory, but I don't get it really. But maybe it's why he went. His death was so bizarro. I'm going to try to make my theory very quick. I have no basis for this theory. You can tell me how wrong I am, and then you can accuse me of hating then you can say I'm going to be a hypocrite because I can't deal with the contradiction of our government. And I believe that that's why we're in a poo hole right now, too. Is colonization had already taken all over. And now you're going to think I'm in the DI. No, I'm not. This is just a realistic outlook at colonizations. They had already colonized over in Europe extensively, wiped out tons. They were after the Aborigines. They were after all of them. It was just never enough. It's just bloodthirsty thieves running around. I feel, and I'm going to state it's based in emotion, a little bit of loose facts here and there. Because I know that the Native Americans, some of them were just always going a little too far with their worship. And it would become too much. It became too much of something. Not all tribes, but there's some reason why God also did allow some of these decimations, which I'll never really agree with. I have to wrestle with the Lord about a lot of that. Some of them, yes. The ones, dangling babies after dinner and doing God knows what over fires and outrageously sadistic, demonic rituals. But honestly, those tribes are far and few between, and God would knock most of them out. Some of them would last, and he'd stick them off somewhere so no one would have to see them anymore. And they couldn't repopulate right. So, Trains are the same thing. It was just something like we decided we'd come over here and colonize and do what we did over in Europe. But wasn't there already problems in Europe? And then you're shooting your butt over here. I feel that North America was one of God's last paradises on earth. I know it doesn't sound very biblical, I know. Okay, so this was an area where he left, and so that if maybe people did want to come and join, meaning like ask for an invite for the dwellers that were already here, they were functioning all very perfectly fine on the North America continent. They still had their battles with the cartels down below, and it's the origins of the cartels, and those tribes, some of them are death tribes. They're death rape tribes. They're horrible. They were cannibals, some of them, not all of them. Okay, please. But it's like they go on for like centuries. And so there was still a battle, but most of this area, the United States of America, with Canada or whatever, they had worked out something. Okay? Things were going decently. And they had, I think, did the proper barricade, kept somewhat safe. But there was still the bandits, and there was Indian bandits, and there were issues. They had their own issues going on. But for the most part, they kept things running smoothly. But like any continent or people where people dwell, there's going to be battles, and there's going to be thieves, and there's going to be, but honestly, for the most part, there was just much more peace. There were still advancements going on, and they were just a little more in harmony with nature. They didn't just roughshod through and plow shit up and kill a bunch of animals and put trains and do this and do that. End of story. You can't refute that. You can try all you want. They'd already industrialized and tried or did over in Europe. Look where they are now. Look where we are now. Okay. John Henry was on the right. Now she's ruined singing rails. John Henry was on the right hand, but the steam drill was on the left. Before you steam drill beats me down, I'll hammer my fool self to death. Lord, I'll hammer my fool self to death. Travel by train cheaper than driving your own car. That's just an ad that would be somewhere. Union something. Pacific, it says behind the train on a picture. John Henry told his captain, Captain, you go to town. Bring me back a 12-pound hammer, and I'll whoop your steam drill down. W-H-U-P. Yeah. I'll whoop your strain drill down. This was still all part of the song. Boy, I'm not doing the favorite one I wanted to do today. Now it's not. So John Henry, and it's a different John Henry. So John Henry had a pretty little wife. Her name was Polly Ann. When John Henry got sick and had to go to bed, Polly Ann drove that steel like a man. Polly Ann drove that steel like a man. They took John Henry to the graveyard and they buried him in the sand. And every time that locomotive passed him by, said, there lies a steel driving man. Lord, there lies a steel driving man. Mountain trout every day in the dining car, like see stuff like that. But still, when you just think about the roots of it, right? Railroad superstition. A sure cure for railroad sickness is a piece of stationery placed against one's chest. Stationery would be like a napkin thing or a piece of paper or something. I guess. Conductor nicknames. Big O, Big Ox, Boiler Head, Boiler Wash, Boss, Brainless Wonder, Brains, Brass Buttons, Cad, Captain Coney, Crumb, Boss, Cushion Riders, Dinger, Dud, Gold Buttons, Grabber, Hot Footers, Ding, King. Oh, this is hard. That's hard. It's a lot of weird names. Yeah, that's why improv is a lost art. Okay. Conductor names. Big O, Big Ox, Boiler Head. Stop. Get the commas. Big O, Big Ox, Boiler Head, Boiler Wash, Boss, Brainless Wonder, Brains, Brass Buttons, Cad, Captain, Coney, Crumb Boss, Cushion Rider, Dinger, a Dud, a Gold Buttons, Grabber, Hot Footer, Ding, Kingpin, Master, Mastermind, Old Man, Shack's Master, Silk Gloves, Skipper, Smart Alec, Swell Head, Ticket Snatcher, Big O, Big Ox, a Boilerhead, a Boiler Wash, a Boss, a Brain Wonder, a Brains, a Brass, a Buttons, a Cad, a Captain, a Coney, a Crumb Boss, a Cushion Rider, Dinger, Dud, Gold Buttons, Grabber, Hot Footer, Ding Kingpin, Master, Mind, Old Man, Shags, Master, Soap Gloves, Skipper, Smart Alec, Swell Head, Ticket Snatcher. Okay, I'm going to put us all out of our misery today. And let Jesus' victory carry you. Are you a goal-getter? Go-getter. Well, you're gonna have to work really hard on letting Jesus carry you. Hoo-hoo-hoo. That's no joke. That's no joke. If you're a go-getter, you see that something can be fixed and you can fix it. Yeah, you're going to have to work on letting Jesus carry you more. And take it from someone that had a lot of, kind of look at me more like a stunt woman with not the proper gear at times. And a lot of trial and errors with the Lord. And he had to turn a lot of stuff around. Now, he says that he doesn't mind because it made things, well, that much more fun. And, we had the gathering time. They all had to gather, he said. He said all the henchmen and the henchman protectors and the baby abusers and the predators and the murderers and the rapists all had to gather. And he's still gathering them around all parts of the earth. And they're gathering up so that we can net them up and scoop them back or somewhere else. Take him back to Argentina where he cleaned everything up, but really just let them all be shipped up here. Because someone paid for it. Okay, so that was it. We ended with John Henry. Argentina, whatever one, Mr. Rique Suave, sweet talker, his quick remedy for curing crime. Just ship him up to North America. All right, love you. Or all over the planet and clean up my country while the dum-dums act like us, like me right now, are doing what we do. The guy down there, Rique Suave, just shipped him all over the place so he could clean his spot up. Interesting. Interessante. I wish my hands were the size of apes. I truly do, but apparently that's what, when the police treat me and stuff, you'd think they are. Love you guys. Have a good one.